Joseph. Can you guys hear me? Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Lateef. It's really, really good to have you. Thank you, for
What,
showing up today.
yeah,
What did you
I'm
say?
glad to. Yeah, I said I'm glad. I'm honored to be here. Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Thank you very much. So, Lateef, we are moving straight up into the panel session now, and it's really be cool. I'm sure everybody on this call would like to, probably see your face, put a name, your face to the name, right? So that I think it's really cool. So it would be really great if you can, help us switch on your video so that I can see, your top professional type of face. All right, Lateef. Okay.
Okay. Give me a minute. Okay.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you. So, guys, at this point, I'm sure that many of us will have questions, right? We have questions and we have expectations while coming to this session, right? We have things I want to ask. Yes, you will ask questions and you will get answers to your questions. So, I want you to document your questions and you can drop it in the chat box while we move into the panel session, right? I'll be asking Latif some questions, you know, and while we're asking those questions, if you have questions as he's answering, you can drop it in the chat box, and we definitely get answers to those questions. So, Latif, shortly, we'd like you to meet you. You can just introduce yourself, how you got started and your journey. Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys. Can you guys see me?
Not yet.
Okay. I've turned on my camera. Give me a minute. Okay. I turned on my camera. Okay.
Okay. I think it's up now. All right.
Oh, fine. Good. Good morning, guys.
Hi, Latif. Thank you very much. It's really cool to see your face. All right.
It's fine actually. So yeah, good morning everybody. Thanks for joining this meet. I'm really glad to be here to actually speak about, tech journey as a whole. How I, got started, and I mean the main focus for the whole meeting is to talk about, if you really need probably computer background or or some sorts to actually like get started in product design or like anything computer as a whole. I've been in design space for like 5 to 7 years. You know, um, I'll just do like a brief run through. So I mean, basically, we all at some point had to learn how to use like computer stuff. Then getting to go to a normal computer school like the likes of the business centers like we all know, and start your learn computer in like 5 weeks and stuff like that. You get me? So particularly, I had interest long time, from secondary school. Then, meeting my cousins that that gotten familiar with typing, like likes of Mavis Beacon for a start, like typing and stuff. So before I got into the whole learning of computer proper, then yeah, I started there, learned basic thing about computer, how to use the old Microsoft suits, and so I started out being like a um, a graphic designer for a start. Then I was using CorelDRAW for a start. I saw like a lot of people designing stuff with CorelDRAW and stuff. So I was intrigued, and I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. Then I started like trying out the tools, and one thing is to try out the tools. One thing is to have like XVR projection of what like the outcome or how it is being done. You get me? So it's more like being an architect and being an engineer. They are two different things. Architects will actually envision it, then the engineer will work with the architect. So you have to be the architect at first before like being the engineer. So yeah, from there, you know fast forward to a year or two. My cousin started talking about building products and getting to like build a startup, for example. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, makes a lot of sense, young guys and stuff like that. Then I was still doing my graphics, I was doing banners, I was working for like a couple of agencies to help them do billboards, stuff like that, do branding and everything. Then yeah, we got into starting out the company altogether, right? Then you know, I haven't heard about product design before. I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. What's it all about? So I came across Adobe XD, which is like we all know Adobe XD. For most of us that don't know, it's just like alternative to Figma and the likes that is owned by Adobe. So yeah, I started out with YouTube for a start. Then I got to like get to learn from YouTube as they're actually doing it. I'm doing it, stuff like that. So it's important to actually know about basics of everything. So if your basics isn't solid, you always collapse at every point of your career. So and it's also good to actually meet people that are in that space. I was opportunity to actually work with a head of design. It was like the head of design in GoCard at that time. I wanted to join the startup then. So he showed me the ropes. A month together. Then he showed me how to do research, how to how to get inspired, how to just showed me around the whole like product design space. And from there I was left alone, like managing the whole startup in terms of design and stuff. Then I took the burden on me and like wore the big shoe of saying, okay, I need to get myself together. I need to buttress myself into learning a lot of stuff, being there. And, you have to have that desire, that work ethics, and from there, yeah, I get to meet people like from one project to another, from one project to another, and that it has been an amazing journey so far. That's like a quick rundown of my background so far in product design.
Thank you very much, Lateef. That was really comprehensive. So from everything you've said, right, we found out that you had a graphic design background, right? But from your years of experience in the the design ecosystem, is it possible to become a product designer without a graphics design background?
Yeah, like it is very possible, and I've, I've, been opportunity to work with people that has zero background whatsoever. Even people that are like 1 year into learning designs, and right now they're actually crushing it. They are anywhere, like they are actually crushing it. So yeah, been working on let's say like on the managerial role right now, and having to manage developers. I don't just like design actually, right? I manage the entire products, like a lot of products that I've actually worked on, and some that are coming out in recent months as well. Um, so I'm more of like a designer primarily. I kind of like manage products, as a product manager. Then I also like sitting as a product owner as well. So I've been able to actually shape products from like point zero to like point Z. So so yeah, let me paint a story. So was it not like 2 years ago while I was recruiting? So I do recruit for like um the companies as well when it's needed, because most of the recruiters are not like very technical, you know. So you have to like be technical to actually get best hands, you know. So one of my colleagues, her name is Debbie. So she had someone that she was mentoring, and she studied genetics, and it's not even close to like computer at all, or like having any background. So she just started out, all these boot camps, probably Zuri or HNG, likes. Then she was like a couple of months into designs, not up to a year, right? Then she was doing her NYC then. Then she, yeah, I said I needed a designer for a project, and she said, "Oh, what year of experience?" I'm like, "I'm open to. Let me actually see the person's project." So one thing is to have good eye for designs, as a manager, because it actually helps to determine, okay, um, can this person actually like design? Then uh, while working, then you can talk about the user experience, some other stuff like that. But primarily, do you know good designs as a person? So knowing good design as a person is actually a good thing for any beginner, like having good eyes for and tone for like saying something and like, oh, this is pleasing, this looks good, this is calm. And yeah, I just saw like two of our designs. I'm like, oh wow, I think this is fair enough. And I did not actually like do interview or like go through that rigorous process. I'm like, okay, jump on and you know the basics. I love what you did here as a beginner, because not a lot of beginner can put themselves together in terms of color usage, typography, and stuff. So she had the basics, and yeah, and not only I've worked with some guys as well, like 6 months into the design space, zero computer background. They just know how to use like the computer as basics, and they've joined one bootcamp or the other, probably from YouTube and stuff. So like it is very possible. I started out product designing from YouTube, so it is extremely possible. If you put the time and if you are determined, it is possible. I mean, the sky is not the limit. Trust me. I can't hear you, Joseph. You muted.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay. So, as I was saying, thank you very much, Lateef. Really shed lots of light on, your like your journey and how you have seen people who actually have zero to no background in product design get started, right? So I would just like to, shed more light. So sorry, I think my video is off. Right. Okay, let me just. Okay, yeah, okay, you can see me now, right? Okay, so yeah, so you actually mentioned that you don't actually need to have a graphics design in your background, and you also mentioned that it's not very important that you are so grounded with computer. You can actually have some computer basics, how to switch on your laptop, how to actually use your mouse, join a meeting. And I'm sure for many people that are on this call that can join this meeting, that means you actually have some knowledge of laptop usage or computer usage, and you can actually get started in product design, right? So okay, Latif. So I admire the fact that you're also like the product manager, in at Jeetar, because you're like holding multiple roles. In fact, three roles: product owner, product manager, and product designer. That speaks a lot of wonderful volume. So guys, if you have questions, please, I want you to ask. So Latif, I also want to ask because for clarity's sake, because the question we asked was, oh, for a graphics, do you have to have graphic design knowledge before you can become a product designer? Also, is it important to have a science background or an engineering background? Maybe in school, maybe you have to study computer science, or you have to study engineering before you can actually become a product designer.
um, that's that is not important. To have like science, engineering, data, anything relating to like computer, any groundbreaking courses. So yeah, I've worked with quite like interesting people, people that study computer, people that didn't study like computer as well. So, and I've also like worked with people that actually dropped out of the way, and they're actually crushing it. I'm also one of them. So about place, it's about wanting it and knowing what to do, and it's about filtering information. So it is important to know what you want to do. It's a filter information, and it's important to like you know uh, be detailed enough to follow guidelines. So for me, you don't have to have any of those roles, like anything like that. I've seen people that I even work with people that they studied agricultural science in the like courses, even masters, and they are senior engineers in front end development, back end engineers, right? So and they are doing really great for themselves. So you don't have to. So I'll give you a go ahead of saying um there are a lot of informations on the internet. One thing is to know how to filter informations, because trust me, not all informations are actually that are worth your time. Trust me, some are waste of time, right? And some are good, like very short. So you could meet a material that will set you 10 steps ahead from somebody watching 1 hour of video and somebody watching 5 hours of video. So like it's not about like the time, it's more about quality, right? So some people, message me sometimes or like they want to go into product design. How can I go into it? I don't have money to go to boot camps to do this, blah blah. I'm like, I just give them like a couple of links. Okay, take a link, follow this guy head to head. Trust me, if you really pay attention to it, it's a matter of like a month. You'd understand the basics. Then from there, you know, you know, and one thing about computer as a whole thing is how you feel. Trust me. So how you feel matters, and you need to feel good about whatever stuff you are doing. We have the downtime days and we have the good times. So you have to just feel good at every point in time to like get started and continue. So having it in mind that I have to go and study computer, no, don't even try and do that. If you have masters in whatever this and like that easy transition process to actually go ahead, like there's a lot, you know and I've mentioned boot camp. If you can afford it, they are like I mean, not all boot camps are actually even good. Trust me, I'm seeing a lot of Instagrammers become a product designer in 6 weeks, become this and that, become a software engineer, become a software engineer in 5 months. See, you know and some will say, oh, free, they will tag you with groups, blah blah. Some people actually scale from it is fine, but one thing that everybody that's has scaled from it, have as is intention. You have to be very intentional, because it is not sweet, it is not interesting. Trust me. you Being an engineer, being a designer is just like you going to study medicine. Medicine takes about 6 years, and rigorously, right? Like it is intense. For me, I don't think I can study that, because you have to do a lot of reading. Not that I don't like reading, but I'm more technical than actually reading a lot of stuff, right? So it is intense. It is intense. Like to actually be good, to actually stand out, it is extremely intense. So people that I see a lot of people on LinkedIn post about their breakthrough, blah blah, this and that. It is fine. It is encouraged. It is not as easy as they actually paint it. Like it is not. If you are opportune, or like you meet people, and from there, probably 2 years into software development engineering, you get a role international. Like fine, makes a lot of sense. But you that are 5 years or 6 years into it and you are not getting like as much as you can reevaluate yourself, but you don't compare. Like luck is important as well. It is extremely important, but just keeping what you are doing. But you have to be intentional, and it is not easy. It is not easy. You can't be the best in 6 weeks. Trust me, you can't. And you don't need computer background. Just know how to use a computer. Just know how to follow instructions. It is important you know how to follow instructions. Know how to filter information. There is a lot of resources online. Not all is good for you. Know how to filter information. It is important. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, Latif, you really mentioned a lot of wonderful things here, right? You mentioned the fact that, listening to following instructions is very, very important, especially when you are getting started. And you knowing that you have to put in the work. It's not always easy. You want to earn that fat money now. So it does not come easy like that. It's not rocket science, right? But actually, it's very, very achievable but you just have to put in the work, follow the instructions, and know how to filter information. Yes, see, there are a lot of information out there. So I was once in a conversation with a friend, Lateef, and this guy was, trying to learn a tech skill. So at some point, right, I found out that he started reading from the back. you know he started studying from the end, and at some point he got the beginning. At some point everything just scattered and he was frustrated. So I said, see, there are ways, there are flows to these things. So you don't just, use every information you see online and you start with it. You have to have a structured way of learning. You have to know how to filter information. If possible, you have to find somebody that can guide you, or you can join an organization that can train you in this kind of, tech skill. So thank you very much for actually mentioning that. So I also want to ask, like, there are lots of, things around coding and the likes. I think you mentioned something like that. But I just want to I would like you to like re-emphasize on it. Like, is it important to know how to code, before you become a product designer?
Okay. Is it important to know how to code to become a product designer? That is zero. I used to write codes, right? But on a very surface level, right? Because while managing engineers, you have to know how to speak their words. You have to know how to, you know, APIs. A lot of stuff that you as a manager or whatsoever, you know how to speak their words. You don't have to have any background knowledge in coding, right? But one thing I would say for like people that are starting out, and for you to be solid, you know, it's just like when it's more like football team, where like you started out as let's say you go to like the schooling, you train under 16, under 17, like it's a gradual process. So it's not by age, right? So have it in mind when you get started, probably you are under 15. If you can be 40 years old, but just know you are under 15. Then the progression is like that. So, you know, I tell people that it is a thin line between starting and actually finishing, but it is going to be a rough one. Um, so it's that easy, and to get started, and it is not easy to actually finish. You know, so having knowledge about coding, you don't need to. Knowing how to use the tool, you need to. Knowing how to visualize, you need. Knowing how to think, you need to. I've actually met people that they are in a good managerial role. They don't know how to design. They don't know how to code. They've never designed before. They've never written any code before. They actually speak so well when it comes to talking about products. You know, I have a friend, a close friend of mine. We went to the same secondary school together. He's, you know, very good manager towards like payments and whatever partnership. Like in the current organization he works. They do agency banking. They do a lot of stuff, and yeah, in my secondary school, they studied geography, and we got into product space. Like, I mean, it used to be around us and stuff, like with the engineers, with the product person, and it kept getting like words, understanding the process, and when the opportunity came, it was in that line. It was a fleet officer for the company, like manager. Then he transitioned into tech, and he's a top tier manager. So like one thing is you have to be around that space to understand a lot of things, right? I may not be you know, you may not know how to design, you may not know how to code, you may know how to speak their language, but it is important to understand it very well, like to understand everything that happens in coding, in product design, everything is understanding. Like some people don't know how to code, they will tell you, okay, I want to achieve this, and I feel this is the way to achieve this, right? Then the product designer or like the code writer will understand the way he has said it, right? So it is important to understand that. Me myself, there's a limit to what I actually understand in code, but I actually understand the basics. I can see a code and actually interpret it, right? Because I have a computer background and I used to, right? So I've also been opportune to actually manage like DevOps infrastructure in terms of like GCP, AWS, and likes, and managing a lot of third-party software, right, for like most of the products or projects. So like setting up all the account and stuff. So like I understand from point A to point Z on whatever you need to actually build a product from the cloud infrastructure. So I have been around all these people. Like you have to be around them very often to understand them. So you just like keep learning a language. If you are growing up with your parents, the more often they speak, let's say your native language, the more often you understand it, right? But if you spend little time with them speaking native language, you see some people I know how to speak. I hear Igbo, but I can't speak, right? It's because they did not go through that phase being around, you know, so they speak a lot of English than speaking Igbo. So that's how like learning product design, learning development is.
Thank you
So
very much.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Latif. Thank you very much. So, guys, you can hear it yourself that you don't need to know how to code. You don't need a science background, a computer science background, an engineering background. You don't need a graphic design background to become in the product to transition into product design space. You just need to get the right resources. Put in the hard work and keep learning because it's very very important. Keep learning, be open to learning, read a lot of stuffs online, like join a lot of communities, wonderful communities. All right, so I saw a question from Innocent. Innocent, you were asking about Power BI. Yeah, we can have a conversation about this. You definitely get my WhatsApp number. That this is more about data analytics and the likes. I can guide you on this. We can have a deeper conversation around this and how you can get started. So definitely, please, stay connected to the end of this session. You get my WhatsApp number and we can talk about this better. Okay, so Latif, in the tech space, it's the product design space specifically. It's important you have like your CV. It's important you have your portfolio. So I'd like to ask a question. This question is dicey though, and it's portfolio versus CV, which is more important?
Two are important. Well, it's quite important, like So I'll just say a lot of stuff. So like on CVs, what me too, I recruit for people. Me too, I'm still looking for a job. You know, it is important to like portfolio is more like as a product designer. For me, when I'm recruiting, I don't care the school you've gone to, blah blah. I don't care, right? What I care about is what I can see. What have you done, right? So that's one. So the second thing is to understand that like they want to see what you've done. So any creative work is more of what you've done. Like what have you? Let me see, right? If it's more of some roles that doesn't require visualization, oh okay, CV, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So I mean CV is just having a formal kind of settings when it comes to like being a creative. If you give me a CV and I can't say work, I can't give you a job. Trust me, like work that Google and stuff. If I don't have a link to your portfolio, what you've done, you know. So you could get the two that will pick, or if people actually pick, they'll pick your work that they want to see, and also, CV just like a reference. Okay, you went to school, you did this, did that. Okay, that's fine. And okay, what did you achieve? Okay, I scaled this product, I did this, and okay, 20% of so this like. But first of, let me see what you've done. Let me see how you actually mapped out your website. Let me see how you build an app. Let me see the color usage. Let me see the design system. Let me see the typography. Let me see your breadcrumbs, a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, that is it. So on a scale, portfolio weighs higher than CV. As a creative person, it weighs higher than CV. But in any other roles, you know that you don't need to see what they've done, visualize. Okay, CV is okay. Then we'll talk about the phone and stuff like that. So that is it. That's why even for developers, some people will say, okay, let me see your GitHub repository. Let me see your GitHub if it's hidden or public or stuff like that. Read through your code, see how you structure your codes. But first time they would want to see your CV as it, because not all account is in a public repo, or project is in a public repository. So yeah, that kind of stuff. So portfolio weighs higher than CV. When it comes to being a creative person, being a graphic designer, be a product designer, be an animator, be a 3D artist, be a 2D artist, stuff like that. I don't care. For me, if I'm recruiting, your CV is secondary, but what you've done is primary. Once I just see what you've done, I can vouch, say, okay, this person knows what he's doing, because you are not coming to write, you are coming to use a tool. You are coming to give out output. So I need to see the output you'll be giving out. Yeah, in recent times.
Thank you very much for that. That's well understood. So, guys, I believe you are noting these things down, because this kind of information, these are the kind of things you need to probably go back on your own to check and map out how you want to start your journey, right? And you need to keep reminding yourself of these points. So okay, Lateef, I'll just ask like the last question, right? And they're like two in one questions. So the first is, how well are the opportunities in product design and the salary, the salary range? Then lastly, as you answer that question, you can just tell us few steps on how to get started, and your parting words generally. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph, once again. Um, so getting started, like I said, it depends on like there are three criterias. Are you funded? That means like, can you pay for, you know do you have a good PC, and do you have a good mindset? So those are like three things. I mean, having a mid PC is fine. You so like I said, are you funded? If you are not funded, there are alternatives. So there are seen likes of Zuri, I've seen likes of HNG, enjoying them. It can be a very rough like environment, because it's not well structured. You see like 10,000 people, blah blah. You see a lot of people try to find common ground. It's fine. But for me, if I'm to tell somebody that doesn't like is not funded, okay, there are like good designers on YouTube, very good designers. Zico is there, Dansky is there, Wordpinsky is there. A lot of great guys that they don't speak so much. They just go straight to the point, like Puni Chawla as well. So they go straight to the point. Like they don't they don't romance what they want to say. They just give you the details and what you need, and that is extremely sufficient. Very sufficient. Like it is detailed. So it is good to be around people. It might not be like fellow designer like you, probably like people that write code. It is actually to grow in that like minds. Because if you are, I mean, I've seen people that are not in that environment, but they still like come out good. But for you to like speed up and be a good one, you need to be in that space. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. You see people design like, oh wow. So when you know the basics, I always tell people like, for you to get good visual, being a designer, you have to know how to copy designs. It is extremely important. When Mohammed Ali says like, if you're somebody that has learned, a punch 10,000 times, that somebody that has like 10,000 skills, right? It is extremely important you know how to copy designs. Pixel perfect. If you can copy designs very well, like any designs, very, very well, the complex designs, if you can do it well, there's no limit to what you can achieve if you understand what the product or the project is about. And it is good to be resourceful. Like, so for me, people that actually works with me knows that I might not design, like for example, like right now I can, in terms of 4 hour stretch, I can use 3 hours to be on my laptop researching stuff, looking for resources, blah blah. Then use 1 hour to actually design, right? And somebody will sit for like 4 hours, and my 1 hour will strike that 4 hours of him designing, right? Because being resourceful helps a lot. Like it helps how you think before you jump into designs. It helps you make decisions. Like you make a lot of decisions in design, and if your mind is like caged, you won't make good decisions. So the more time you spend of getting resources, right? So I work with like good designers, and one thing they know me for is how to be resourceful. Like I am very resourceful. I design. So you know so that is extremely important, right? Getting a mentor is a good thing, right? But people that are like seniors are very busy and stuff like that. It can be very hard. But having to be in that group of people that knows is extremely important. And also, when people learn all these things, like I said, they they always want to like start earning. Ah, me too. I want to start earning. Calm down. See, you will earn, trust me. But tech is so painted in such a way that once you are 1 year and 2 years into them, boom, you hit jackpot, dollars start tripping. you know, like I say, even Tony Elumelu said, luck is important. It is important. I've seen people in 2 years and they are earning thousands of dollars. I've seen people 5, 6 years, probably they are on 6 figures in naira. You know, and I've seen some people more than that, and they have not hit the threshold of million naira, right? So, and they know this thing, right? But they haven't made the right connection, the right opportunity, or the right platform to eat it off. So it is extremely important to be patient, like, and you know, when I see young people coming into designs a year into it, and like, they are not even paying me, they are using me. I mean, it's fine to feel used, but and also for managers, if when any manager is on this call, you guys should do better actually. Life is that people need if there's opportunity to actually pay people like very well. It is important you do that. Don't use people. For me, I try as much to like not do that. Sometimes it's above you. Like the company would say no, blah blah blah. Like I push forward to like let's appreciate these people more, right? It is important. So um, tech generally is a good thing, but I mean right now the market is saturated. For you to be for you to like stand out, you have to be patient. You have to learn your craft. Like it is extremely important to do that because once the opportunity comes, are you set? Are you in that standard of that opportunity? It is important to do that. Like um, it's more like football sometimes when the opposition holds a lot of possessions and a lot of shot on target, while the other team just sees two shot on target and they score and they win the match. So like it's more like that. Like you have to wait patiently, but you have to be ready for that. So like I will recap again. If you are funded, there are good boot camps to go to. Like if you are really funded, like there are good boot camps that will structure you very well. If you are not funded, there are good guys on YouTube. There's a lot of information on YouTube, but specifically from my own learning course, there are like top 3 guys or 4 guys that will put you at this top, right? Secondly, is to be around people that speaks about tech and stuff like that. It helps you understand a lot of things. Being a product designer, you are not just designing. Trust me, it is good to actually understand what the what the back-end developer says, what the front-end developer is saying, what the DevOps is saying, what the product manager is saying. So you are not. It's not just any opportunity can come at any point in time, and being caged as a designer is a good thing, right? But having that mind of, oh, I've done this before, I know how to do this, blah blah. it's fascinating. You get me? The third is like get a PC. Like a mid PC is good. I mean, there's a lot of web based softwares right now that you don't have to install on your PC that will be heavy. You know, that is one. And then is to is to be patient. Have get internship. If even if it's not paid, trust me, it's just a matter of time. You know, put your work out there if you are not shy. For example, I won't say I'm shy, but sometimes like there's a lot of work and like and a lot of things you're actually doing, and you don't have time to actually put yourself together so for people to see your work, except it goes like you know. So things like that, and be good, be a good person, like be humble. It is extremely important. So me, like having let's say like a managerial role, there are people on my team, right, that I wish I have their skills, even me being their manager. You know, like it is important to to stay humble, right? For example, I work with like some creative guy, right? I do branding sometimes, but like they are far better than me, and I manage them. Like I give them the kudos that no, you guys are good. I respect you guys. You guys are amazing. It is good to be nice to people. Like even at the worst days that stakeholders will say we are moving behind timeline and stuff, you need to stay calm. Take all the heat as a manager. That's why you are a manager. If you throw the heat out to your subordinate or to your colleagues, you never make progress. Trust me. You need these people to make progress. You know, every little effort counts. And when you look at pyramid of Egypt, it took a lot of people to do that. So even a stone that somebody moved, it counted at the end of the day. So it is important to do that. Like be nice to people. Trust me, it is not easy. Life is hard already. People go through a lot. So like it is important. I mean, being nice doesn't mean like when people are wallowing away, you should not like structure them well, but like be constructive as you can. It is important. Um, you know, product design is interesting. There's a lot of resources, like nice resources, that are free resources that are amazing. Know the basics. It's important to know the basics. When you see people on LinkedIn, online, on Twitter, blah blah, and you feel pressured, you feel I'm not doing enough. Oh my God, I need to do better. It is fine, trust me. Me too, I get that, that feeling. But at the end of the day, if you feel like you need to be better at something, try and learn it. Like it helps, it makes you stand out. But it is important know how to copy designs. If you know the basics, it is extremely important. Like you can write it on the word on your board or anything. Know how to copy designs pixel perfect. Trust me, it will help you. It is going to help you. Cars are cars, but basic everybody copies. It has to have four tires. It has to have a wheel. So those are like the basics of them copy. So any aesthetic is another thing that they thought of. But there are some things that you can't re-engineer. You have to know how to copy designs. And knowing how to copy designs is not that stealing other people's work and calling it your work. That's another thing. No, it makes you stay grounded. Like okay, this button I need to place it like that. This color is not good. This camera. This is why. So it opens your mind. So hope I've been able to like say give headsway on that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lateef. I really learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody on this call learned a whole lot too. Thank you very much. You really, answered this question. You've done justice to all the questions and the concerns that we have on this call today. Thank you very much. So, guys, please, I would like you to type thank you to Lateef in the chat box. You can also connect with him on LinkedIn. That's his full name, Lateef Akinyemi. On LinkedIn, you may want to connect with him. It's really cool to show some appreciation to Lateef. Thank you very much, Lateef. Really appreciate you coming, honoring our invitation. Definitely, I would also be in your DM, for some conversations. All right. So guys, we just move on to the I'll just talk about program structure, right? Yeah, thank you very much, Chief, for thanking Lateef. You can connect with him on LinkedIn too.
Thanks everybody for coming on. It's an amazing one to be here as well. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, guys, let's just quickly move on to our program structure, right? So, yeah, at Quantum Analytics, we actually train you to become a product designer. Yes, you get started and you get to a level where you be confident enough to at least go for interviews. We can actually get a product design internship role or an entry level, a junior product designer role, right? And our trainings are hands-on, right? The trainings are hands-on. You learn from practicing professionals, people that know their onions, people that are top professional, people like Lateef, that actually know what they do. They actually know everything about this, product design space. Let me just use everything in quotes, right? These are the people you'll be learning from. And, you'll be getting your hands busy. It's not about the theory. We want you to do the job. You work on projects because these projects will help you build your portfolio. You can't get a certificate without working on the project that we give to you. So you have to work on a project because you said you want to learn, right? And we are ready to teach you, right? So that's actually how it works. And also, we have ways how we support our own students. We have our community of product designers, from product designers from over 30 countries, right? Where you can actually join into, get information, opportunity. Everybody believes that iron sharpens iron, right? So, Latif mentioned something about being around tech people that actually speak the language, people that actually speak tech. It helps you develop, right? We also have sessions called LinkedIn optimization session. So it's very, very important that you also know how to position yourself. If you don't talk about what you do, people will not know. So you should be able to talk about what you do because that has actually brought a lot of opportunities to people. People around me, and even me myself, I've actually been a testimonial of LinkedIn optimization, right? I've actually been able to get a lot of things from LinkedIn. So then we also make sure that you learn how to revamp your CV, and we teach you. We have sessions on interview preparation. So because you are a student and you've passed your faculty, or you have a product design interview, you want to have an interview demo session. Yes, we can make that happen for you. Yes, we can do that for you. Prepare your mind and prepare you for how you can answer some of these questions in these interview processes. Then we also have recommendation letter when you need it. Yes. So because you passed your faculty, we can give recommendation letter. We've had a lot of our alumni, that are presently working in different organizations because the organization reached out to us or they asked them to get the recommendation letter from us. Yes. We will give it if you actually pass through our faculty, right? And we also have sessions on how to assess remote jobs. It's very, very important because in this our world of today, it's important that you know how to access remote jobs. The work ecosystem is changing rapidly. A lot of people are doing hybrid remote jobs and the likes, and you need to be able to position yourself to access these kind of jobs. So guys, it's really been a very wonderful time, on this call today. And I'm sure that we all got value, right? You may want to ask questions from me personally, Joseph. My number is the first number on your screen, ending with 2511. Yes, ending with 2511. You can send me a WhatsApp message. I'm available to respond to your concerns. I am readily available. You can also send an email to us at hello@quantumanalyticsco.org. You can check our website. You can also check our LinkedIn website, our LinkedIn page, Quantum Analytics NG. You see testimonials of our students, some of the projects that our students have worked on, and the ones our students are presently working on. Yes, you see wonderful dashboards, wonderful things that many of these guys that passed through our faculty have done and are doing. You even see testimonials of some of our alumni doing great things in the tech ecosystem already. So guys, feel free to reach me. I want you to send me a message right now, and let's talk. Innocent, that's my number ending with 2511 on the screen. Make sure you send me a message. You can talk about the Power BI that you mentioned earlier. You can also reach out to any of the numbers, any of the two numbers that you see under my number. Yeah, you can reach out to those numbers if you would like to, make inquiries to. Yes, those three numbers are very, very available, for clarification on your concerns. So guys, it's been a very, very wonderful afternoon. I'm happy to host you all. I'm happy that you all got value from this session today. Please connect with Lateef, reach out to me on WhatsApp, get started right now because you don't have to procrastinate. Procrastination takes time. It has affected me. It has affected a lot of people. You keep procrastinating, before you know it's a year. And somebody that started today is earning so well already. So get started today. Make your inquiries. Take action. Take action. It's very, very important. Take action. You're saving time as soon as you start, because yes, that means you're saving time. So I want to see you in class when next I have a conversation with you. I want to see you in class when next I have a conversation with you. So guys, have a wonderful afternoon. I'm sure many of us want to rest, in preparation for next week job or work. And many of us have one bed that we want to attend. Please enjoy the chicken, enjoy the jollof rice. If you want to go to the movies, enjoy your time and have a wonderful weekend, guys. Bye.